Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Daniela and today we'll continue, finally, with the hunting of Bly Manor. This time episode 9, which is unfortunately the last episode as well. It's really a shame. I enjoyed it a lot. But it is what it is. In the last episode, we find out about the story of Bly Manor, how all started, who the lady in the lake is, and who the other ghosts are. I mean, we didn't got much of their story, but at least I know, who they were or how they got stuck there. Also, right at the end, just as the end of the seventh episode, the lady in the lake, Viola, got Dany. So hopefully, um, we'll find out what's happening with that. Anyway, as usual, I got something to drink. The episode is ready to start. So without further ado, let's do this.
My name is Hannah Gross. The year is 1987. Dominic is dead. Charlotte is dead. Rebecca and Peter are dead. I'm dead. Right here, this moment. What a curious and charming man. I thought. I looked at you and I almost forgot myself for a moment. God knows I tried not to think of you. I would think that I would very much like to spend the rest of my days with you.
Stop.
I loved you, Erin. I should have told you.
What a life we could have had.
Oh, Erin, wouldn't it have been wonderful?
You have loved me, so I'll always be here. But you don't want me to be her, nor the kids.
If I leave, I don't know where I'll go afterwards.
Be brave in death, Hannah.
Let her go! Now! Stop!
We lay, my love and I, beneath the weeping willow.
That's so cool, the sounds she makes.
I gave you your freedom, and you're letting it drown.
I really wonder where Miles go when he's being tucked away. Like we saw Flora always with like her mother, but what about him?
I said put her down!
Come on.
Not here. Oh, no. What are you doing here?
This is going to sound insane, but we both had an awful dream and we just drove and...
The lake. They need you at the lake.
Wait, both of them. Was it Hannah? She was able to go in like Rebecca's memories or dreams.
It's you! It's me! It's us!
She let Viola in.
When he checks the well, please tell Owen I'm sorry. Tell him I love him. And the rest, well, it's just...
Confetti? No, because Viola disappeared. the other ghosts are disappearing as well.
The next day, Owen assisted 5 men from town where they gently lifted the housekeeper's body from the well. It was assumed she died accidentally, an unfortunate stumble. After the housekeeper's body was taken from the well, someone in the village said that the cook rode with her all the way to the coroner. And there, he insisted on cleaning her himself. He stayed at her side until she was buried. And he loved her the whole way.
I have this feeling like I'm walking through this dense, overgrown jungle. But I know there's this thing hidden. This angry, empty, lonely beast. I know it's there. It's waiting.
While you wait for your beast in the jungle, do you want company? We've got a problem, Poppins. You see, I'm not sick of you. At all. I'm actually pretty in love with you, it turns out.
At long last, deep within the au pair's heart, there was peace. And that peace held for years, which is more than some of us ever get.
You're my best friend. And I love my life. And I don't know how much time we have left. But however much it is, I want to spend it with you. That's enough for me. If it's enough for you.
I reckon that's enough for me, yeah.
This is the best news. I'm so happy for you both.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
We have a lot of regulars now, which is nice. They'll come in and I'll have their order ready. There's something in knowing you made a place that people like to come back to.
Nice.
His restaurant is called a Better Place.
Interesting, though, the way they talk about Bly.
You talked about what happened?
No, I mean, that's what's interesting. They don't remember anything about it. Well, they know they used to stay at Bly when they were children. Said they recognised Hannah's picture, but only as the woman that used to stay there with them. I mean, by the signs of it, they're thriving. I'd say, just let them be. Let them live their lives the way they should, without anything hanging over them. They deserve that.
Stop. Oh, she's okay. I mean...
Dany. 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 It's okay. It's okay.
I'm so tired, Jamie.
I know.
Like every day I feel myself fading away, but I'm still here. And I don't
You're
understand
still
how that is.
here.
And every day we're living our lives. And I'm aware of that. It's like I don't feel it all the way. I'm not even scared of her anymore.
It's fine. If you can't feel anything, then I'll feel everything for the both of us. No one is going anywhere.
Just like Olivia and Hill House.
The beast had lurked indeed, and the beast, at its hour, had sprung. And she could not risk the most important thing, her most important person, not for one more day. The gardener said the words she'd heard those years ago. She willed it with everything she had. You, me, us, us. Take me with you, she cried in her heart. Take me. Drag me down like you did the others. But the lady in the lake was different now. The lady in the lake was also Dany. And Dany wouldn't. Dany would never. In fact, no one would ever be taken again. And no one has been taken to this day. Like Viola before her, like the children, she too would forget her past. She would know nothing of the gardener, nothing of their life together.
It's her, Jimmy's her. Wow.
Leaving the only trace of who she once was in the memory of the woman who loved her most. If you were to find the manor, though, perhaps you'd see her.
That's Owen.
Though no way to know when she's awake or asleep.
You said it was a ghost story. It isn't.
No?
It's a love story.
Same thing, really.
I start getting really, really terrified. That he's gonna... before I do, and then what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to just live a life that he's not in?
You shouldn't be thinking of losing each other at all. Don't let that hang over your happiness right now. When the time does come, years and years from now, mind you, will be hard every day and it won't get easier. Eventually, after some time, you'll find little moments, little pieces of your life that remind you of him.
You know, it's funny. I thought you might be making it up just off that name.
That name?
It's a funny coincidence, I suppose. My middle name is Flora.
Ooh. No, she was always with her. So, that was a thing. That was the final episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor. And what an episode. It was definitely a love story, but also it was about loss, losing a loved one, and dealing with this loss. Like Dany losing her fiance, and the kids losing their parents, Owen losing his mother, and then Hannah, and at the end Jamie losing Dany. But also it was about losing yourself, either through, mental illness, as Owen's mother, having dementia, and, again, it's a terrible, terrible thing. And I think this what Ghost represented with the lack of features, especially Viola, we saw her through time slowly losing herself, forgetting herself, her personality, what she wanted, why she wanted. I think it was also a bit about the trauma and the guilt of losing someone, as then in the beginning kept seeing her fiance's ghost, and the kids forgetting about the time that they spent at the Bly Manor, and they losing their parents was definitely traumatic for them, and maybe that's why they forgot. So the whole thing, it was a story narrated by Jamie, and she was telling it to Flora and the rest. There was also Owen there and Henry, and she did change the names and location. I think she didn't want to scare and scar the kids. I think the reason why she told that story, it was so Dany won't be forgotten, and she won't become this thing without a face as Viola did. Dany, to save Flora, accepted Viola. um, and she wasn't possessed. Like, it wasn't Viola in control, like Miles, um, like when Peter and Rebecca possessed the kids, they were in control, Peter and Viola and Becca. But this time it was Dany, and I'm guessing because Viola it was so weak, like she didn't have a conscience and a personality and thoughts, but she was always there, and her rage was still there. And in the end it took over. And because Dany didn't want to hurt anyone, she chose to sacrifice herself. But Jamie never gave up on her, and she always hoped that she will came back, and she did try to let Dany into her. But after all, I think Dany was always with her. Not just at the end when there was a hand on Jamie's shoulder, and definitely was Dany. But I don't think that was the first time that Dany was there. I think she was always watching over her. I feel so sorry for Owen. Not only he lost his mother, but also Hannah, and he did love her, and Hannah loved him, but it was too late. I like to think that because Owen was thinking about her so much, Hannah was able to interact with people like from the first moment, and touch things. I'm sure it isn't true, but just I was so happy to see Raul. I definitely didn't expect it, but it was a really nice surprise. I loved the ghosts and Viola, like the lady in the lake, how they looked. I think I mean I definitely see it before, like this type of ghost without a face. But in the other things they were like just cool, it looked cool, so let's do this. But I think in Bly Manor they had a purpose why they did the ghost like that. Once again, the horror elements weren't the main focus. It had actually few things, and also if there were like if you didn't notice the ghosts, around, staying around and lurking in the distance, it's even less horror. But I wasn't expecting it in the first place. I learned from the Hill House, but it's about the people and their stories. Still, the episode with Hannah, it's my favorite. Her stories and how it was put together, her jumping through her memories back and forth. I found that really interesting and really nice. I don't know, I still remember her at the end saying her name and where she is and what period of time it is, about Miles, she's 8, Flora is 6, and her repeating like that in and fading away. I really hope for a third series. I don't know, I don't think I should call them seasons because it had nothing to do, except like some things that they brought from the Hill House. The songs, I'm so happy. The music, I'm so happy they used the same because that was so beautiful. And it did change it a bit, but It's so melancholic. That was the Bly Manor and Mike Flanagan breaking my heart once again. Good job. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you next time. Bye.